You're watching Money Talk with Policybazaar. Today's women are strategic thinkers, innovators, caregivers, and are taking charge of their own well-being. In fact, when it comes to financial fitness, women do not shy away from taking charge. The current pandemic has brought to the forefront the importance and compulsion of insurance. In today's video, we are going to talk to an expert about all kinds of insurance products and financial decisions. Let's welcome Ms. Santosh Agarwal. She is a Chief Business Officer at Life Insurance Policybazaar.com. Thank you so much for your time, Santosh. We can't wait for you to demystify some of the financial products and simplify some difficult terms and decisions.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, Santosh, I believe that under your leadership, the life insurance vertical has witnessed a major transformation in terms of market share as well as product innovation. Tell us more.
The way insurance industry in India started out, especially life insurance, it was considered more of a savings tool, and people, believed that they would pay something, and after a certain period of time, get their money back with some amount of interest accrued in. It was until 2009, India largely bought savings product as life insurance. 2009 is when the category, which is pure protection or life insurance, actually came into existence or being. And people realized that if you were to protect your loved ones from an unforeseen event where you would need a large amount of cover, and that's when term insurance started out. It started out online because the ticket size was very low and offline distribution wasn't viable or economical. What we started out as just a pure protection. If there's death, then the family gets a sum assured. That's how it started out. But now it's more holistic. Now it not just covers death, it also covers disability, and it also covers disease. So it's now a more, I would say, full protection encompassing tool than a pure death benefit kind of a product.
If you could very quickly tell us, what is term insurance? If I buy term insurance, would I get it when I'm alive after 30 years? Or will I only get it, or will people around me get it after I pass away?
Term insurance is a very selfless act. I would like to start with saying that. You're buying it for your loved ones. You're buying it for your family. You're buying it if something were to happen to you, and if you died while you had the cover, then your family will get the benefit or the sum assured. So if, for example, if I were to buy a term insurance plan of about 1 crore rupees, and say today I'm 35 years old, and I cover myself till say 70 years. If before 70 years I died, then the nominee in the product, which could be my parents, which could be my spouse, which could be my children, they would get the sum assured, which is the 1 crore rupees, and for their lives to carry on. But if I outlived, say, 70 years, and I lived through, post 70, the plan stops, and I get nothing. So that's how a term insurance plan works.
What are the top 3 insurance products that women go for?
Health insurance is primarily the most sought after product. And then it would be term insurance, and then it would be savings-related plans, insurance plans.
You have been in the sector for really long. According to you, how important is it for women to take up financial management, control their own finances? And what do you think needs to be done to get women more equipped and aligned to their life goals, to their financial goals?
There is no reason why, a woman should not be in control of her finances. And if you're earning, you know the wealth that you need, the amount of money that you're making, and how to make that money to work for you, and how to protect yourself financially. It's equally important for a man or a woman, right? But still, the penetration of women buyers in insurance is dismally low. So it's been increasing over years. So today, if 100 policies are sold, about 87 policies are sold to men, and only 13 are female buyers. So the number is still very, very low. And of women who are buying, 1/4 are actually working people. 3/4 are actually, dependents or housewives in some way. A lot of people forget that if the woman in the house was not running the house, not taking care of the children, or not providing for food, etc., to get that help, you would have to pay money. So that is also loss of income. And hence, a housewife being covered through term insurance is equally important. And there are a lot of companies who've made progressive steps in that direction. They provide something called a joint life cover. So, under the same scheme, under the same plan, both the husband and the wife, even if she is non-working, can buy a term insurance product. And if you're working and earning an income, then you can buy any product that you want to. So I would encourage more women to come forward and buy this product. It is extremely important, and the price is very, very low. So for 1 crore cover, if you're a 30-year-old, you basically just pay 600 to 800 rupees a month. So that it's that cheap, and it gives you large amount of protection. So there's no reason not to buy it. A lot of women kind of leave, even they're now working and earn well for themselves. They still let men take decisions about finances, of where to invest, what financial products to buy. So they would still lean on to men to make those decisions for them. So I think that's something that's got to change.
But how can that change?
It's simply education. It's simply taking more interest and being in control of, like you're in control today of various other things. It's simply being in control of finances also, of being able to appreciate that if you can go out and make money, there is no way that you would not understand. It is not that complex. I think some people get overwhelmed that some of these products can be extremely complex and they may not have the required know-how. But all of this information is extremely simple to understand. You can go to the internet, read about it, and especially products like term insurance, health insurance are very, very simple products.
Another important thing, Santosh, while working women can easily buy an individual term life insurance plan, how can homemakers make sure that they too are covered under term life insurance plan? Are spouses allowed to include their partners in term plan? Is there a concept of joint life cover for homemakers?
So if our couple were buying this product, there'll be a husband and a wife, and each of them will have nominees. So whoever died first, so if a husband bought a 1 crore cover and the wife is covered for say 50 lakh in the same plan, so if the total cover is 1.5 crores, if the wife dies, the 50 lakh is paid out to the nominee, and the nominee could be the husband himself, the nominee could be the children or parents. And if the husband dies first, 1 crore is paid out, and the plan for the secondary member continues. So if the wife dies first, the husband still continues to enjoy a cover of 1 crore, and whenever death happens, of the husband, the eventual 1 crore is also paid out. So it's basically two individuals holding a cover in a joint pool mechanism, but they have their individual sum assureds.
What is your advice to our viewers? How much is the right amount of insurance? Is there a thumb rule one can follow?
If you are less than say 35 years of age, you could buy 20 times your income. If you are in the age range of 35 to say 45, 15 times of your income is a good amount cover. And if you are 45 years plus, then 10 times of your income could be the right amount of cover. It's a very simplistic formula for anybody to kind of use. And it should be almost, like I said, 80% right.
Talking about some major ailments that women are prone to, like breast and cervical cancer, how can women enhance their term plans to get adequate coverage against these illnesses? Can these plans work as income replacement options?
So I'll break down your question and answer them into 3 parts. One, along with the term plan, you can buy a critical illness product, and you have products specific to cancer. Cancer is one disease that can be a big drain on your pocket, and the expenses can be very high as compared to any other health issue. Also, if you buy a cancer specific plan, then all stages of the disease are covered. And that's an important one, because a lot of critical illness plans do not cover the minor stages and only cover the last stage, or, and by then it's too late, right? So buy a cancer plan, which is a fixed benefit plan, which means that if you are diagnosed with cancer at any stage, there'll be a sum assured or big amount of money. If you buy a 20 lakh plan, 20 lakh will get paid out to you. And it does not depend on hospitalization or what is the actual hospital amount. That's why it's called a fixed benefit plan. The second I would say is buy a health insurance plan. These days, there is a way to buy a 5 lakh basic cover with a top-up plan, and you can actually make a 1 crore health plan for yourself, and it's very, very economical, because the top-up plan only gets used in extreme conditions and hence becomes very cost effective. The third part is that women also buy a lot of health insurance plans, keeping maternity in mind. So do remember that if you're planning to start a family, do remember that you when you buy a health insurance plan, there is a waiting period most companies will have of 2 years, 3 years. So plan that in advance and then buy the product.
You were talking about insurance for cancer. At what level or at what price points can women start?
You could buy a 20 lakh cancer insurance plan. And if you're a 30-year-old, you could get it for almost like 6,000-7,000 rupees a month, a year, sorry. So it's that economical.
And apart from term insurance, what other products do you think a woman should have in her investment portfolio? I'm sure you have a thriving investment portfolio. So apart from term insurance, health insurance, what else would you recommend?
You could have 3 possible ways of investing. One is, I would say, have a liquid amount of money, almost 6 months of expenses as money readily available with you, so that whenever you need to some emergency, or if you need to dig into your finances, an accident, whatever, right, then you should invest into a fixed asset class where you know that you've invested for a long period of time, and that it's going to have a definite or a fixed yield. Then you can park some money in equity. And when you park the money in equity, again, at least I would recommend that park the money either through a mutual fund scheme or through a ULIP scheme, where you're parking money again for a certain amount of time, and think about at least a 5 years horizon in equity. I think the right way to go about is a SIP, and you can do an SIP either in insurance through unit-linked plans or ULIP plans, or you can do SIP in mutual funds. Invest both in debt and invest both in equity, and that should be a healthy portfolio.
All right. Now, if you could further flesh it out for us, for women in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, how would you define a checklist of financial products to build the ideal financial portfolio?
If you're in your 20s and you've just graduated and now you will start looking for a job and you'll just start earning, right? So I would say first buy health insurance. That's the most important financial product that you should have. So that if something happened to you, you need not dig into your own expense, savings or your parents' savings, right? Then buy term insurance because of the advantage term insurance brings to you, that if you buy early, the price is fixed throughout the term. And the price can be very, very low if you're buying in your 20s. And if you're buying your 20s, that's the premium you will pay for your entire lifetime. And as a third product, start off thinking of saving. You can take slightly higher bets. So your exposure to equity should be much higher. You could probably do a 70-30 kind of a ratio, where 70% of your investment is in equity, and you can plan for 10 years and more horizon, and 30% could be debt. For somebody who's in the 30s, if you've already bought term and health, that's wonderful. But if you haven't bought it still, repeat what you were supposed to do in the 20s. So buy health first, then buy term, and then think of savings. If you're in your 40s, health insurance again becomes very, very critical. And evaluate, even if you bought a health insurance plan, evaluate, have you bought the right amount of sum insured? Most people buy a health plan of 5 lakh. That's the average sum insured sold in India. So top that up with a top up, which only will be used in severe conditions, of either cardiac arrest or some heart problems or cancer-related issues, and only when these large amount of expenditures come into play. The second thing that you should do is, if you feel that your family has had a history of cancer, etc., then buy a standalone cancer plan also. If after you've crossed, say, 50s, if you haven't bought a health plan, do buy it now. So, because beyond this, you may actually not get a health plan. Again, term plan, evaluate. If somebody is dependent on your income, and if there are people dependent, then do go for a term plan. And you can buy a term plan. It'll be slightly more expensive if you're in your 50s, but you could buy it till you think you learn, till you retire. And third is savings. On the savings side, I think your equity exposure should really drop. It should be the reverse now. Almost only 30% of your money should be parked in equity, and the remaining should be parked in debt. and also that the amount of money that you have, liquid money available in your account, which you can dig in anytime. That I would suggest that instead of a 6-month period, try and make that 1 year, because emergencies and health issues can become more frequent. So having a 1 year's income, which is easy to dig in anytime, is suggested.
Now we have a quick rapid fire for you where you need to choose one over the other. Okay? Term insurance versus life insurance.
Term insurance.
Gold versus stocks.
Stocks.
Property versus rental.
Rented.
Luxury buys versus SIP.
SIPs.
But that is practical. FD versus SIP.
SIP.
Shares, FD, SIP, health insurance, emergency funds, rate them in order of priority, high to low.
Health insurance being the first, and I think you mentioned stocks being the last.
And any priority in the middle?
After health insurance will be SIP, then there'll be FD, and there'll be stocks.
Before we end this session, Santosh, we have a question from a viewer. I'm an average working woman in my 30s, and while I have all other responsibilities to take care of, I find life insurance as a better investment option than term insurance, as I would get my invested money back at the time of maturity versus in a term insurance, which you said is giving it to somebody else after you pass away. What do you suggest is better?
That is factual, that if you buy term insurance, you're not going to get anything back. But if you have, and you're in 30s right now, and think about when you will start, you can get married and you will plan a family, you'll probably buy a house and take a home loan. And if something were to happen to you and your income would be gone, right? And how does your family then carry on? So I would say, of course, do invest and put your money to work for you and do generate wealth. That's something that you should do. But do not neglect the fact that these events will happen in your life. And if you buy today, one, the likelihood of you getting the product is much higher because you don't have any diseases right now. Second, it's far more cheaper if you buy right now. And third is that, think about the money that you're spending. It's not a this versus that conversation at all. Because for a 1 crore cover, you would probably have to spend 600 rupees to 800 rupees, a month. And that's maybe lower than a one-time dinner. So I would say that, buy both, and you will find the value as you move along.
All right, wonderful, Santosh. You've been extremely educational and informative. And to everybody watching, in case you have more queries regarding insurance, please go to the Policybazaar.com website. And Santosh, thank you so much. And it's wonderful to interview a woman who's at the helm of life insurance. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.